We're back behind enemy lines, enemy of the state here, and we're looking at the fabled America's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm going to give you an impartial view, despite my intro here, and we're going to see if Jera really did the best for his franchise here, or if he hamstrung them once again. What's up? It's your boy Cintron. Come back to another analysis video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. And also, we're going to do some news here. And like I said, we're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. So the number 2 runner-up to the NFC East crown. They were in it until they weren't. Lost a game that they should have won to the Jaguars, and then they took themselves out of the running to win it. They actually beat us in the second game, but they couldn't close it out. And home field advantage, I think, would have given them a huge advantage and turned the playoffs in the NFC topsy-turvy. But on to bigger and better things. We're looking at the 2023 season here. The 2022 season is in the books. The Eagles are losers, and I'm sure that delighted every Cowboys fan from the bottom of their hearts that we lost the Super Bowl. But hey, it is what it is. Moving on here, quite literally. And we're going to start with the players that they gained. So let's look at the Stephen Gilmore trade. They get the 32-year-old corner coming in. They only dealt a 5th-round pick, so very slim. But he counts against a cap, roughly $10 million. So that's not bad. And will they? This is the question: will they put him in the number 1 spot and displace Trevon Diggs, or will they let him keep that number 1 spot? I think it actually be smart for them to leave Trevon there and let him fill the quarterback 2 spot. They're solid defense, and he does make them better. But I know it was a bit of a salary dump. But what would be the reason? What would be the other reason for the Colts getting rid of him? He wasn't counting that much against it cap, and they're just selling off assets, but just for a lowly 5th-round pick. The Cowboys got to smile this one in getting a perennial Pro Bowler into the building. But is he going to be on the decline this year? That's yet to be seen. We have our own 32-year-old corner in Philly, so I'm one to talk. But he's a former Defensive Player of the Year, and he's a talented guy. But I don't know, he just doesn't scare me these days. So, but he does upgrade that position for them. So this has got to be seen as a win. So you field him, and then you have Kelvin Joseph, a 2nd-round pick from last year, who had he had his ups and downs. And then slot corner Deron Bland. It looks like a pretty good set of corners, man. I'll take that. So, and it's an arms race here in the NFC East, and you're just trying to, first win your division, and they have to, worry about one A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Quez Watkins, I wouldn't say they played excellent against him last year. That should be of no concern to them. But it puts them in really good shape to defend these receivers that they're going to face from Philly. So kudos to them for swinging that trade. Let's see what else they gain in the offseason. Brandon Cooks, this is another big one, but in a microcosm, great trade. Bringing in a wide receiver 2 that's going to play second fiddle to CeeDee Lamb. But they offloaded Amari Cooper last year, so can you really say he's an upgrade to Amari Cooper? So that's really what you got to compare here. It's paltry as far as the compensation goes. Not 5th and 6th rounders we're talking here, so later round picks, gambles in it essentially, but it's kind of a net, not even a net loss. It kind of equals things out. Could you really say that he's an improvement over Cooper? Not really. An improvement what they had over last year? Yes, definitely. So, you take 2 steps back and then you take 2 steps forward this offseason for just 0 here. So it's you've always got to look at it like that. So they're kind of admitting that they made a mistake and letting Cooper go, basically, And but Jared, I gotta give him credit for that. Acknowledging that, and they were more active in the trade market than free agency. Signing people per se. So that's their way of operating, and they haven't been big, huge players. I didn't know that. It just doesn't fit with the glitz and glam of Dallas and the star on the side of the helmet and Cowboys. But they've been smart on that front. Not so smart on hanging on to their own player, homegrown raised players, overvaluing them. So we'll get into that maybe a little bit later here. But yeah. It just wasn't the conversation you see here. It just wasn't really, much. It was just like a dump. So you just gotta look at that and say that. I mean, yeah, they upgraded him, speed element, but I don't know. I just think. I mean, Cooper, he's kind of a mercurial guy. I mean, not hot and cold, but he doesn't have the fire that some people want him to play with. Would I want him in Philly? No. Glad that we have who we have, but. Was he really that bad that they had to offload him? I don't think so, Dallas, but he's gone. All right, they bring in Ronald Jones to play second fiddle to Tony Pollard, who hopefully heals up from that devastating leg drop tackle that they're contemplating pushing out of the league, but I don't think they did. So, but it's something that's going to be under the watchful eye of the league moving forward. But Ronald Jones, he peaked in 2020. But, since then, he fell off the map, and it's kind of just been a decent option that's going to give you something. But, it hasn't been much. So, I think, he'll be good. Yeah, like I said, he'll be competing for a backup spot. But his roster spot isn't guaranteed, so they could cut him. Potentially, if they draft, this deep running back class this year, they might bring in somebody to be a swapper, for Tony Pollard. All right, Chuma Odoga, don't even know him, so yeah, O-lineman that got wrecked. Long snapper, negligent. I don't care if he's the best in the league. It's still only like a handful of plays. These are players that they added on, right? Or they brought in. All right. So players that they retained. Tony Pollard, we just talked about him. On the franchise tag, $10.1 million. If he can, hold his form from last year, it's his first 1,000-yard season. They should have replaced him, put him as running back one there in Dallas. But they're holding on to the vestige of old memories with Zeke Elliott, and now Zeke's out of the picture. They might bring him back. Oh, that wouldn't be a smart move. That'll be a more sentimental type move, but I wouldn't put it above Jerry. But if he's smart, he stays away from Zeke and brings him in on ring of honor. But that's about it. Let's see what else. Donovan Wilson, a smart safety signing. They had like a trio of safeties: J-Ron Curse and Malik Hooker, and I think it's a really good move from them. He's a Dan Quinn, a D coordinator. It's not good spell. I want to say Dan Quinn, and 3-year, $24 million deal. So a little pricey, $8 million there. He's getting on the higher end of the stick, as far as what safety's got behind Jesse Bates this year. But solid guy for them. 101 tackles, 5 sacks. Added in a pair of forced fumbles, so a very solid guy for them. Dante Fowler, also the DN out of Jacksonville, re-signed with them. He's a one-dimensional guy, but he produced 6 sacks. So that's a very good production for 227 pass rush snaps. So good production there. And solid linebacker last year. Leighton Vander Esch, LVE, 90 tackles, a sack, and forced fumble. He came back after the rash of neck injuries. So if he can produce, be a solid linebacker for them, that's got to be a win. Not going to justify that first round draft billing, but turn into a solid player for them. That's all you can ask for. But they could upgrade, but it is what it is. I'm struck by this 60-year-old whatever model here. All right, but let's see. They brought back Cooper Rush. That's got to be a solid sign for them. A good number 2 came in and was undefeated till the Eagles ended that streak, baby. All right, but yeah, but he was a solid guy, and it was ridiculous that we were saying like, oh, he's better than Dak, and then right after that game they were calling once again for Dak Prescott. All right, C.J. Goodwin, of course, special teamer. Ty McKinley, so former first rounder that they had, and they bring him back in here, but practice squad guy in 2022. Rico Dotto, preseason workhorse. So a lot of players that they didn't really. I mean, it was good for them to hold into some key spots. Cooper Rush, depth. Potentially Ty McKinley, like Van Der, solid guy. Dante Fowler, pass rush specialist. Donovan Wilson, solid in that safety rotation, but nothing that really moved the needle more than holding serve, so they wouldn't sink lower. So players lost. Dalton Schultz, he's going to be a big loss for them. Last year, he was solid, but in the previous year, 2021, he had his career best season, and potential, but especially in the playoffs, he didn't really step up. It's outside the Bucs game. I mean, that's the only game they had the Bucs and then the 49ers, but made some key mistakes, but they're going to try and replace him. Second-year pro behind him, Jake Ferguson, and hold on to him. Try to upgrade that spot. I mean, there's some routes they can go, and this is the draft to get it. Tight ends are, hot and heavy, feeling sweat from around the league. Because, it's a quality class, so this is a draft to get one. We talked about Zeke earlier, not losing anything. Zeke was done, He was declining with every season. Yeah, pretty much. I like this. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, diminishing returns, and they held on to it for 3 years too long. Should have dropped him in 2020, but like I said, sentimental factor. 2019, you can see, if he bounced back, he didn't bounce back after 1 year. Cut your losses and call it a day. But that contract they gave him was always going to be along the lines of the law of diminishing returns. Just should have never signed it, offered it to begin with. Of course, he was going to take it. All right, Connor McGovern, one guy was decent for them. 3-year, $23 million deals for the Bills. They say it's an overpay here. Yeah, I think he's just, could be solid, but easily. I would say easily. You can find an upgrade for him. So Noah Brown, not losing anything here. He was a liability, man. Size, yeah, sure, but never seen a number 2-ish receiver. Number 3-ish receiver. Maybe I think he's a good 4. Let's see. Linebacker depth signing here, special teamer, and like I said, the long snapper. Was that something they lost to him? I don't really care. So, let's see the grade here for them. Give them a solid offseason. A-. Wow. Is it just for them not really just overreacting? I don't know. I give them like a B, solid B, B- to B, because like I said, they brought in some people like Stephen Gilmore can help their team, Brandon Cooks help their team, Jones, okay, whatever. Holding on to Tony Pollard, Donovan Wilson, Dante Fowler, solid in that role as a pass rusher. They lost some pieces, but I think we're kind of like buoying this just based on Stephen Gilmore and Brandon Cooks. Theorizing that this is a roster that didn't need too much added to it, but they had that roster and they still weren't enough in competing in the playoffs. So I'm looking at playoffs. I think they need like 2 more years to really add like some if they add the right pieces to be like highly competitive. I think it's just going to be another. I think they maybe advance to the second round, but then they get bounced again. I don't see this team as is like advancing far, and that's not me being biased. It's just for what they showed last year. I think a big component of that is the quarterback position. Is that going to lead them? Seen one? Even Cowboys fans, do you have faith that he's going to lead you deep into the playoffs? He's going into, I think, his 8th year. He's the second. I'd say the second best quarterback in the division, but he could be fighting for that title with Daniel Jones. Who knows? We shall see. But I don't think they did anything to remove Philadelphia from the top spot. So, am I wrong on my assessment? Tell me. I mean, you're not even watching though, so it's all good. All right, let's get into some news from around the league. All right, the Atlanta Falcons. We talked about this last time. They added Calais Campbell. We get to see the numbers here: $7 million base, $9 million with incentives. Solid signing for him, and he's 36, so still getting some of that paper. So happy for him. Taylor Rapp, man, this is an underrated signing for the Bills here. They upgrade that secondary. They have Jordan Poyer and the other safety. I forget his name. I think they were both at one time Eagles. So I mean, just interesting there. Solid duo, but one of them coming off injury, and you're always looking to. I mean, that's a quality depth signing at the very least, but he might come in and compete for a job. So kudos to them. See the Cook brothers matching up here, running back James Cook in Buffalo, and Dalvin Cook already had number 4, so he switched to number 4 to match his brother. So interesting. And we get to see finally a player switching to 0 here. Jaron Curse, previously mentioned, is going to switch from 27 to 0. So taking advantage of that Philadelphia suggested rule change. So you should be thanking us. Still doing giving gifts to the Cowboys, even though we're Eagles. And not a lot else here. We see like a big one here. Ryan Neal was cut by the not cut. His offer was withdrawn, restricted free agent. I don't know if it was a second, third round tender or whatever. I don't think it was that high, but he had a career season last year. PFF gave him like an 82.5 or something like that grade, and he jumped like 20 or so points in his rating from the previous season. So he had like 2 picks, 60, 70 tackles or something like that. Solid safety. So are the Eagles going to be in the market for him? Try to bring him in to potentially be a starter. He's a strong safety, ascending talent. And I don't think he would cost that much, so it would fit with their theme of bringing in. Well, he wouldn't even be a low risk, but he'd be a cheaper player. But the upside with him being huge, so that would be the theme that they'd be hitting on again this offseason. It could be a possibility. We'll see, because we still have like a little bit of chunk of cap space. I'm thinking that we're saving that for the Jalen Hurts signing, but who knows? Maybe Howie Roseman has one more big one in him that he's going for. But I think we might be done mostly for the with the moves, and we're looking just square to the draft coming out here in I think about 26 days. So exciting. All right, and we'll look at the main page to close out this video. All right, Jim Kelly hopes the Bills get a star running back. So could they be looking at a Bijan Robinson drafting? And I think if he gets there, of course, they just, without a shadow of a doubt, turn them into a superstar team. So, man, some competitors here for the Eagles trying to get that, Bijan Johnson. I think Bijan Robinson. We had like the 4th best odds to draft him. Also got to worry about the Cowboys trying to maybe get him and get a 2-headed monster there in Dallas, and that would just be horrific. Lightning, and then thunder with lightning, with a chance of lightning. I mean, just horrible. All right, let's see here. What else? The Falcons head coach Smith has a lot of faith in new quarterback one Riddler. You better, because if you don't bring any competition for him, you're hinging the season on this 3rd round pick last year, and is Desmond up to the job? He showed some middling results last year. Maybe got stronger at the tail end of the year, but you don't want to bank on a guy without a contingency plan in place. So we'll see. This is just smoke screen, and a lot of smoke screen, and a lot of subterfuge being used around this time of year. So we'll see truly what these teams really think and feel, or how they feel by their actions. And that is it for around the league. We're going around the league, but no, there's one more thing. Kendrick Streets, the former D tackle of the Saints, and also drafted in the 4th round, had day 2 talent. I don't know if that was 2nd round or 3rd round. coming out of college. The 49ers made him a 4th-round pick, and he had an ACL injury at his pro day that tanked his value. Came into the league, didn't play the first season really. I don't think at all, maybe at all. And then the second year, he played in 15 games. And then the past 2 seasons, he started 7. He played in 17 games. A rotational guy, and 6'1", 287 pounds, athlete. Yeah, man, he brings talent. He's had 3 sacks and 3.5 sacks in the past 2 seasons. So he's rounding into form, coming off that ACL injury, and finally he's back. So another high reward, more of a risk as far as just like I would say like him in his value. What he brings. He could take to the system or not, but more on the reward side because he's not injury prone. He's proven that past 2 seasons, and then he's only a rotational player. So we are like 4 or 5 deep now at the D tackle spot. So is this a sign that we're out of the running for Jalen Carter? I don't know, man. If he drops to 10, because the Raiders are apparently out on him, and maybe also who's it? The Lions, other franchise that you're just like not ready to throw their hat in the ring. And Josh McDaniels came out and said, "Oh, that's false," but a lot of, like I said, a lot of shady and shifty stuff being done, and like subterfuge, and then lies being spewed. We came out, we saw it in Kobe Dean. There were lies being spread about him. That's why his value, he dropped from a 1st-round talent to the 3rd-round pick, which we gladly received, turning that card. And it's going to be projected to be a starter for us this upcoming season. But yeah, man, you never know. Jalen Carter, we have 2 of his teammates, Kobe Dean, before mentioned, and one Jordan Davis, D tackle, to vouch for his character. They can tell you, hey, is this guy going to be a liability, a headache coming in, or should we, actually put a move and draft him if he drops into our laps at 10. So we'll see at the draft whether his stock tanks and he does a free fall, if the Eagles are willing to catch him at 10, or do we just go to a completely different direction. But yeah, man, some interesting stuff. Interesting stuff happening around the league this time of year. And we'll get into some other stuff, but this is it for this video. But you're not even watching, though. It's all good, though. As always, fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go! Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.